Hello and happy Wednesday.
Yay.
Pew, pew, pew.
Yay.
Pew, pew.
It's been a day.
And that sucks because it's like 10:30
Uh-huh.
and it's been a day.
I like to go back to bed and restart,
Me
please.
too.
Me 3.
Yeah, this is The Perspective. My name's McCall.
I'm Ema.
And I'm producer Butters.
And even though it sucks and we're feeling very much like, oh man, I wish I'd like to go back to the beginning of the day, how about instead we find some weird items and weird things that make the day suck less? Shall we?
Less suckage.
Less suckage. So I'm sure you guys have heard that
She lost it.
less suckage. That's what we're going for. Like a terrible vacuum that doesn't suck.
Yeah.
So I'm sure you guys have heard they're closing down Splash Mountain. People are like, oh man. I also saw that
Oh,
they're
no, what
yeah.
do you do?
I've never been there, so whatever.
I don't care.
It's a staple, guys.
Yeah. But I also heard that they're closing the log flume over at Lagoon too.
Oh, no.
Which is a bummer. I liked that one, but whatever. So Splash Mountain going to be closing, and they have, quote, rare Splash Mountain water available on eBay,
No.
which is so, I don't,
Disgusting.
Yeah.
Here's some pool water that people
yeah,
have been in.
I don't
gross.
understand. I don't understand what it is.
You know what? I got a hot tub. If you want some water,
Yeah.
I'll give you some water.
I'll sell it to you. Just put Splash Mountain water on the side of it and call it good.
Exactly. I probably could.
So obviously people trying to capitalize on this.
And then put some
Disney
random
ride. Surprising, it's not the people at Disney. It's just random strangers, which I think is weirder than anything.
I wonder if that's
How
like
did you
theft.
get the water?
I know.
That's my question.
I'm curious about that
if
too.
you don't actually work at the park.
Right. And then did you know? Because I don't
It's
think
somebody's hot tub water.
Yeah, I
or
don't
pool
think
water.
you knew. So they're random
saying.
people selling genuine and rare water. They're claiming that they got from the ride. Prices on eBay are all over the map. Some of them they've been bid up like a couple of dollars, but other sellers are looking for like hundreds up to $1,000 for their Splash Mountain water.
Why?
I don't know. People are into weird
what?
things. So I guess you can still go to Disneyland in California. It's still up and running. You know, they are replacing the ride. So I think that's how people are getting it because it's not officially closed down at this point. But seriously, I'm like, who the heck is bringing a jar onto it and just like, hey, catch it, see if you can get it? Not many people. And if you are, you're weird. But I found a list of some weird stuff for sale on eBay.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Great.
So
let's hear it.
some of the 14 weirdest things on eBay somebody has found ever, and quote, honestly, I'm concerned, end quote. For example, let's see. Do we
I'm
go
gonna
this
guess.
direction? More water, okay. Number 14, Elvis's leftover water.
Oh.
Like,
Okay.
yeah. So it's in a, quote, sealed vial. The water itself sold for $455 in 2004. And Jones refused to sell the cup, claiming that he would only be willing to exhibit the treasure for, quote, a minimum of $300 plus travel expenses. So you lost money on it if you bought it for $455 and you want $300 and travel expenses.
And travel.
And travel expenses.
Of course.
I don't know. I don't get it. There's a songwriting credit for on a Prince song that was for sale on eBay. The owner of the studio where Prince recorded the first song as a solo put his co-writing credit for the musician's debut single Soft and Wet up for sale in 2018. So they listed the rights as buy it for now price of $490,000. You want to be a co-writer on Prince's song? I know you do.
Yeah.
Producer Butters, you got the name for it.
It's true.
There you
Is
go.
it the artist formerly known as Prince, or is it Prince?
It's Prince because it's his first song that came out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
not the artist, not the symbol or the artist formerly known as. There's possibly the only baby T-Rex fossil.
Shouldn't that go into a museum?
It should.
Should be in a museum.
They had it was discovered and in 2017 he lent it to the University of Kansas Natural History Museum. Then without giving the museum a heads up, he listed the fossil on eBay for a buy it now price of $2.95 million. So it was in a museum.
I guess he got tired of just landing it for free.
Yeah,
and
must have been. So
wanted to get some money.
items no longer listed on the site, though. Surprising amount of dinosaur bones. I mean, if that's your thing, there's other dinosaur bones on there. If
I was
that's your
gonna say,
thing,
is there teeth too?
Probably.
I'm assuming so. Yeah,
That is weird.
way weird. There was we saw this in 2021. There was the Among Us shaped chicken nugget from the BTS meal that somebody posted. $99,997. There may never be a convincing explanation as to why, but the nugget may have attracted interest due to the combination of Among Us fans and BTS fans. Almost 200 bids later, it reached the final jaw-dropping price. The seller promised the nugget would be delivered in frozen and sealed to ensure freshness. So, yeah.
So what do
it
you
sold.
do with it? You freeze it still?
Must have, yeah.
Or eat it?
Freeze it, have it forever. Love it.
Have it forever.
Love it for big time.
Why?
I have no idea. Twigs are for sale on eBay. They have been for sale on eBay for a while.
Like,
Twigs, like sticks. Like twigs.
What?
Yeah.
man, I could be making a fortune.
You should be.
For
Yeah.
real.
So this guy, he's based in London, managed to sell 6 twigs on the site for basically $86.22. He marketed the set to parents tired of their kids fighting over twigs. I'm not a parent, so I can't speak to that, but I guess I get it. So he argued that, quote, like the Spice Girls, end quote, each of them have their own unique, impossible to replace personalities. He sold them, though.
Oh my gosh.
That's the wild thing.
You know what? I'm just gonna start picking up random crap and
Right.
selling it on eBay.
You should. I think,
Here's a rock.
yeah.
It
Looks
came
like
from Splash Mountain.
Yeah. Splash Mountain rock. Here's a rock from this middle of the street in Logan.
It has
Done.
a unique and irreplaceable personality.
Obviously. It can never be replaced. Justin.
Not one alike.
What?
Not one alike.
That's right. Justin Timberlake's breakfast got auctioned up on eBay. So he was hosting for a breakfast interview in 2000. I'm curious who it was. There was a DJ at the radio station in New York that's huge. They put the leftovers up for auction. So the 2 pieces.
So it was a joke, and then it.
I'm sure. Yeah. So the 2 pieces of, quote, it says singed. It's not signed. It's singed French toast. I don't know. They were purchased by a 19-year-old for $1,035. She planned to, quote, freeze dry them and put them on my dresser. Yeah, toast. Wonder if we could reach out to her and see if it's still there.
Is it still there? Is it
She's
moldy?
like, this is the dumbest
you
investment
still-
I've ever had.
Yeah, do you still have it? And it was 2000, so you know $1,000 was like $1 million.
It's like, it crumbled.
Yeah. A man's life got put up on eBay.
What?
A man's life. Following a divorce, he wanted a fresh start, so he listed his entire life for sale on eBay.
Oh.
Including in the auction was his house, everything inside of it, his car and motorcycle, introductions to his friends, a trial run at his job he was hoping to earn.
Introduction to his friends.
Yeah, because he was auctioning his life. Like, you want my life, come have it because I don't want it anymore.
Deuces, I'm out.
That was it. Yeah. So
Wow.
he was hoping to earn.
Piece of crap.
Yeah, well, I mean, maybe he got divorced. He didn't want to live in his life anymore. So you auction it off so you
but
can
your
go live
friends
your own
has
life.
nothing to do with your divorce.
Well, but that's the whole
maybe
point.
they're mutual friends because
Yeah.
married couples end
They
up
have
having
mutual
the same
friends.
Well,
Yeah.
that's dumb.
Yeah. So anyway, he was hoping to earn around 340,000 Australian dollars, which is the equivalent of $257,468.40 US dollars.
That's all he thought his life was worth?
When was this? I don't know when this was, but I think it was just the amount of money that he could get to be able to move on into a new facet of his own actual life, right? So his boss at the carpet store where he worked supported the idea, saying it was, quote, really exciting. The winner of the auction withdrew at the last minute, so this guy ultimately sold his home the old-fashioned way for $399,000. So his house was worth more than what he auctioned his life for.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well,
You could have just.
I guess he won in the end.
Must have, yeah. Hopefully he's living his best life.
Except for he probably had to give half of that money to his wife.
Potentially. I mean, if she was on the thing, maybe. I don't know.
You were married, so.
Maybe he just got to keep it in the agreement.
Yeah, it just depends on what the agreement said. Because
Hopefully they didn't have any kids.
yeah, I'm assuming not,
I hope not.
given
He's
that
trying
his
to give
kids
away
weren't in
his-
this list.
Trying to give away his
Deuces,
life.
I'm out.
Yeah.
No child support. Goodbye.
No, get out. So a quote holy grilled cheese sandwich was on sale. She put this grilled cheese sandwich that she'd taken a single bite from a decade earlier. The reason she only took one bite was that she believed toasted bread bore the image of the Virgin Mary in it. Ultimately, it sold for $28,000, which then sent representatives to her to make the exchange in person, lest their purchase got lost in the mail. In an eerie twist, the sandwich didn't mold over the course of its 10-year existence.
I don't think that's eerie because I think there's been a lot of bread that has been proven to not go moldy, especially here in the
Yeah.
US.
Dude, I see the picture of it. I can see the picture of it. It looks like Mary.
Mm.
What she's been depicted as in paintings.
I wonder-
Obviously, I'm not friends with her. I've never met her. It's weird.
Hmm.
Anyway, very interesting.
Very.
Number 5. This is where we get weird. Okay, the top 5. We've been weird. The top 5 is weird. Number 5 is the power of friendship. It was auctioned off. They listed a weekend's worth of friendship on eBay in 2006, promising to their lucky purchasers best mate for 2 days, including the offer of, quote, some beer, some good conversation, and a hell of a lot of laughs, and some snags.
I mean,
Snags
how
are
would you know
sausages.
For sure.
Well, you don't. You never know it for sure. So an eBay spokesperson said at the auction that the auction was, quote, a bit out of the ordinary, but it was ultimately reinstated after briefly being taken down since it wasn't actually breaking any of the site's rules. After being reinstated, bids started flooding in, and they eventually accepted the offer of $1,300 for it.
For a weekend.
Yeah. Isn't that dope? $1,300. These guys are
Yo, you're gonna be my best friend this weekend.
These guys are geniuses. Like, if I
Okay,
could
the
make,
question is who won,
I don't know.
and are they still friends?
I don't know. It was 2006. The internet only barely existed.
I mean,
It
probably
existed for a while.
Facebook
but yes.
or something social media wise didn't exist. How are we going to get in contact with them? Yeah.
aim.
I don't know. I mean,
MySpace.
it'd be interesting to see if we could get in contact with anybody, but I have no idea. Then we got a man's middle name
Oh,
is number 4 that they had up for sale. Hey, this guy's from Utah.
oh my.
His name was Matthew Gene Rouse. He was given the middle name to honor a grandparent whom he didn't get along with. So in 2008, he sold the rights to replace Gene with whatever moniker the purchase saw fit. So his brother bid $1,500 in hopes he was going to get to change his name, but the auction was ultimately won by a website called lucahost.com, which paid $8,000 to buy it now on the price, despite the fact that the bidding had only reached $3,200.
I remember Luke. I think I remember that.
Yeah, I do too.
That's
do too.
funny.
I
So
don't remember that.
anyway, they couldn't track down any official reports about the name, which name the company chose. Allegedly, the Utah courts refused to allow it, so he had to say Matthew Gene.
Wait, do you have to petition the court to like change your name?
I don't know. I guess in 2008, yeah.
Oh, why would it matter?
I know. Isn't that wild?
Yeah.
I think it's hilarious. Man, could you imagine?
I wonder if it had something to do with like a business name, like
Could be.
maybe a .com or something, and
Could.
somebody's like, no.
Yeah, it could be. They probably wanted
Lucahost.com.
lucahost.com. Yeah, that's probably what they wanted was their middle name. But like, could you imagine doing this now? Like, I can see somebody doing this now to make buku bucks, auctioning
I
off
would-
their middle
I
name.
would do it.
It'd be a great social media game, though.
If I didn't like my middle name, I probably would, but I love my middle name.
I know. I use my middle name as my pseudonym.
So I wonder how funny would it be? I can't remember what I was gonna say now.
Let's just do a contest with it. How funny would that be?
Oh no, I should hit up Chevy.
There you go. Can I change my middle name and you'll give me some free things? There you go.
Yeah.
Genius. So number 3, Cereal that sort of resembled E.T. went up for sale in 2004. He discovered a piece of Nutri-Grain that looked kind of like E.T. Where other people would have seen breakfast, he saw an opportunity, sold his discovery on eBay for $1,035.
I just don't understand why people are looking at the food. Once the food is in front of me, I'm just
eating
it.
it. Yeah.
I'm not looking at it,
Like, oh, that's
examining
cool.
it.
Right, same. So they say this was
Interesting.
Yeah, this was despite the fact that, as the Daily Telegraph gently pointed out, in the right light, Nutri-Grain all looks kind of like ET. It's true, it do. So yeah, fancy. I don't know. Can people? I remember when that Among Us chicken nugget went up for sale. And we thought it was outrageous because it was 2021, so 2 years ago. I remember that. That was wild.
Inflation.
Dang, inflation. But I just wonder how often people sell things like that on eBay.
No idea.
Pretty sure all the time.
It's so wild. Do they get money for it, or is it just kind of like, I made $2, like,
I don't
now
know.
I got to ship it, and now it's going to cost me more than that?
Well, it depends on that and the fees and
Yeah,
all the crap.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Interesting.
I know that they say there's a rumor. I don't know how true it is. Don't quote me on it. But there's a rumor that say that you can get like serial killer stuff that they
Yeah.
make in prison
Yep,
on eBay.
it's true. You can.
Like-
I think it's hidden. I think it's more of like it's under faux things like, oh yeah, it's a wink wink Ted Bundy wink wink generated paper crane. Like,
Yeah.
Mm.
Origami.
yeah, very interesting. Number 2, Iceland.
Wait, Iceland's for sale?
Iceland. So, Iceland in 2008 was listed at a starting price of 99 pence. 84 bids later, it ballooned to 10 million pounds, which is the equivalent of 13 million. It's like $13.8 million
so
US.
basically buy the country.
Well, yeah, that's what it is. So the seller made sure to note that the singer Bjork was not included, and also pointed out that Iceland boasts a habitable environment, Icelandic horses, and admittedly a somewhat sketchy financial situation at the time. The nation was in midst of financial crisis.
What year was it?
2008. Let's be
Wasn't
honest.
Everyone in financial
Bingo.
crisis
That's
back
exactly
then?
what I was going to say. Everybody was in financial
Kinda like
crisis
right
at
now.
that point. So, Iceland. I don't know if it's sold. I'm assuming no. I don't really know.
I mean, how could you sell that? Like, you just pay that and then.
I thought Iceland, maybe I was wrong, but either Iceland or Greenland, one of them was like they do super well, and they're very like.
Greenland. I
Is it
mean,
Greenland?
I'm pretty sure. Because at this point, like I said, Iceland was in, this is like direct quote from the article, that it was in midst of financial crisis. So I don't know. Maybe they're doing better. I have no idea.
I don't know.
Mm.
Me neither. And then we got number 1,
Uh-oh.
New Zealand.
Oh, my
Was
God.
for sale.
Was for sale. 2006. There was an Australian man who got 22 bids on his unauthorized sale of New Zealand before the auction was shut down.
Unauthorized.
Yep. The Brisbane prankster or entrepreneur, depending on your point of view, started the bidding at 1 cent. Ultimately, it only reached the price of 3,000 Australian dollars, despite the fact, in addition to trying to sell it, he damned the country with false praise, describing its weather as very ordinary. So, I mean, it got shut down, but there you go. There's some odd things on eBay. There's like buildings and land. There's like a decent amount of buildings and land that have been for sale on eBay that have been weird. Bridgeville, California, population 25, was sold on eBay in 2002. It's been up for sale 3 times since then.
I know there was a town in Wyoming called Buford, I think is what it was. It had a population of like 3.
3.
Basically, you run the store, the post office, and the government, basically.
Right.
Yeah.
That's just you.
Yep.
You and your family.
Yep. In 2003, Thatch City, which was in the U.S. Virgin Islands, went up for sale, $3 million. Carlotta, California, was up for auction in 2003. The Indiana Firebirds Arena football team was auctioned off that failed to reach the reserve price and began, and again as a buy it now item for $3.9 million. In late November 2005, the original Hollywood sign was sold for $450,000. 2006, Newcastle, Australia, we talked about that. New Zealand went up. 2006, also the remains of U.S. Fort Montgomery, a stone, went up for sale. The auction ended June 5th, 2006 with a winning bid of $5 million. However, the sale was not complete. The fort land surrounding it remains for sale and was relisted on several sites since then. And then in 2008, amidst the 2008 to 2011 Icelandic financial crisis, Iceland went up for sale. So interesting. Like,
Very.
just, I don't understand why all of these, like,
Things.
buildings and
Don't
stuff,
know.
businesses and
All
stuff.
right, here's McCall Taylor.
I'm up for sale.
Here's her water bottle.
That's right. Once.
Going up for
$2.
Her
$100.
Could you imagine?
her pink marker that she held in a podcast once.
And
This
put in her
one.
mouth.
It's up for sale now. If I sell it, I'm going to be real sad. But if I make $1 million off of it, I'll be way less sad because
Yep.
then I'll have more pink markers.
Yep.
There you go.
So a weird thing this morning.
Yes.
The snow.
Yes.
So as it was like
I
falling,
was not expecting it.
I know.
I woke up. I was like, what is this?
I know.
I was driving around. I was like, when they say it's going to be cold and clear, but it's cold and snowing.
Yeah.
So weird.
So because I went outside
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, well, I gotta clean this off, and I wish I'd have got a picture of it, but I was like, I don't want to go back inside and get the phone or whatever and take a picture. Anyways, it looked like spider webs, like that was being stretched,
Interesting.
or cotton balls
Yeah.
as it was going off the side of the car. It was the weirdest.
That's so
thing.
weird.
Huh, that is
It
weird.
was stringy,
Weird.
but then when I touched it, it's like it all fell, like it's all powdery.
That's so weird.
It's really weird.
Odd. Yeah, I was not expecting snow this morning. So on my way in, it was gross. Like the roads were super slick. I was like, what is this? I
Well, yeah.
almost.
It's like they issued a statement last night at like 10 something. It was like roads are going to be super slick
Yeah.
overnight. I'm like, oh, okay.
The
Oh,
roads
okay.
were super slick at 9.
I know.
was driving, and I finally was like, no, I'm not driving in this anymore. So
was-
I went home.
Yeah, it was so weird. I don't even understand like why. I mean, I know why because it snowed. Hello, but I don't know. I don't know. I wasn't expecting it.
I don't think anybody was.
Super odd. Anyway, do we have any final thoughts on weird things?
This just in
Oh.
from TMZ.
Oh,
Cops were called to Britney Spears' house after she deleted her Instagram.
ooh, dude, there's a lot of sketchy stuff going on with Britney right now. There's a lot of sketchy things that are happening because people are getting on to the fact that she's creating content, but they don't think that she's really free. Like, there's a lot of stuff around that. Have you followed down into the deep rabbit holes of Britney Spears and her not safety?
No.
I haven't dived.
Deep dived,
Yeah.
deep dove.
Deep dove into it, but there was some speculation about her hand, but I didn't follow it.
Interesting. Yeah, I've just seen a lot of stuff on it about how she's not really in control of her life, that her husband basically they got married, but she wanted this like private marriage. Her dream was Hawaii and to get married in Hawaii on the beach, and then they ended up having this big lavish wedding, and the big lavish wedding was actually just a huge brand deal because of the way that everything was like placed and positioned. And with a lot of those celebrity weddings, they are but Sam Asghari wanted to make all of the money, who is, her now quote unquote husband ? So I don't know. There's a lot of really interesting stuff that's coming up with it.
Another thing that's weird that was for sale.
Yes.
I guess Justin Bieber sold his whole catalog
Yep. $203 million.
and artist royalties and everything. So that means that all of his old songs
Yep.
are basically the new owners, right? Like
Yep.
he doesn't make any money off of them.
Yep.
Why would you do that?
Part of me just thinks that he wants out. Like, honestly, I feel like he just kind of wants out of the Hollywood world when it comes to stuff. He's gotten a lot more like spiritual, bigger into the like devout Christianity side of things. And so I could see him doing it from that perspective. And the fact that he just like, if he were to sell all of his stuff, I mean, think about it, $203 million. He's 28 years old, 29 maybe, but he's like 28 years old, which is how old I am. You could live off of $203 million comfortably.
Yep.
Like,
I mean, yes, you and I, but he's had I don't know what you call it, the rich life.
Right.
So it's probably not going to last as long for
I mean,
him.
could be, but that's what I'm wondering is if he's stepping back and doing this more devout Christianity side of things where he gives away a lot of his monetary possessions and his worldly possessions and like just gives his whole life to God, because there's a lot of people who do that. So I could see him doing that, and then that's where he just wants a minimal amount of money so that he can just live off of it comfortably.
Probably also wants to get rid of all the people that he feels have been using him.
Mm-hmm.
It's one way to do it. Just get rid of everything.
So does that mean is he going to make music again?
He could. I mean, I could see him dropping like this whole new era of Justin Bieber music that's like his old self has died. Like, you know, the old Taylor can't come to the phone now because she's dead. Same kind of thing with Justin. I could see him doing something like that and then just doing more like Christian music, more on that side of things, and just reinventing his own self.
Good luck.
Any other final thoughts?
It's a weird world out there.
Bingo.
I'm going to start selling random things on
You know
eBay.
what? Embrace
not?
the weird.
That's right. May as well. Okay. Well, this has been The Perspective.